Hello students, let's start today's physics class with chapter 7, Electricity and Energy. Friends, you have already studied about energy in the chapter Work and Energy. What is energy? We need energy to do any work. That is, to play football, to walk, to study, etc. Similarly, look at this bulb. It glows only when it works, isn't it? So the bulb also needs energy for its working. Now you have a question. From where we get this energy? We get energy for our activities from the food we eat. What about machines? Okay, let's have a discussion on it. Throughout the day long, we get light from the sun. Plant can turn sunlight into useful energy which makes them grow. Food gives energy to animals and humans so they can live. Almost anything that moves can be used to create energy and run machines and turn on the lights. Energy from the sun can generate electricity by using solar panels. We can also use wind motion as energy. How about water? We need it for drinking every day for our energy. Movement of water in rivers and dams also produce energy. There are more amazing ways to produce energy. We saw that we get energy from sun, wind, water, etc. Most of the world's energy comes from 5 main sources. They are water, coal, nuclear fuel, gas, and oil. The pie chart shows how much energy comes from each source. The most available source of energy is the coal, and nuclear fuel is the least available one in the world. Electricity. Electricity is not included in the 5 main sources of energy because all electrical energy comes from the other sources of energy. Electricity is considered as a secondary source of energy. We have already studied about transmission of electricity. That is, how electricity reaches our home. Electricity that are produced in large quantities at the generating stations or power stations are transmitted through the transmission lines to the transmission substation. These are also known as electricity supply offices. From these substations or electricity supply offices, electricity is distributed through the distribution lines to various customers including homes, shops, etc. We said that electricity is generated in power stations. What is meant by power stations? Or how electricity is produced in the power station? Okay, let's learn more about it. Power stations. A power station is a place where electricity is generated for large-scale distribution. The power plant or power station is the location in which the energy conversion takes place. We obtain electricity from the power station by the conversion of primary sources of energy such as coal, natural gas, nuclear, solar, or wind energy. Power stations are built away from cities where the sources of energy are mostly available. Based on the available sources of energy, there are 3 types of power stations. They are thermal power station, hydroelectric power station, and wind power station. Thermal power stations. In thermal power stations, the energy from the burning of fuel is converted into electrical energy. Most countries use coal, oil, gas, and the nuclear energy in uranium as fuels in a thermal power plant. Thermal power plant consists of a tank that contains fuel for burning. For example, this is a coal tank that contains coal. The thermal power plant also requires river water. The coal tank provides the required coal to a large burner or boiler. Along with this, the water from the river is allowed to flow to the boiler to produce steam. Making use of the heat energy from the coal, the water boils in the boiler and produces the steam. The steam is collected and passed through a tube. At the end of the steam tube is a turbine. The turbine that consists of set of blades starts rotating due to high power steam. When the turbine rotates, the generator connected to it starts working and converts the heat energy from steam to electrical energy. The electrical energy generated like this are transmitted through the power lines. This is how a thermal power plant works. The next type of power station is the hydroelectric power station. As like the name indicates, in this power station, we make use of the energy from water that is stored in dams or reservoirs to produce electricity. Working of a hydroelectric power plant. The hydroelectric power plant make use of water stored at a height to produce electricity. In hydroelectric power plant, a dam is constructed across the river. This prevents the flow of water and stores it as a reservoir. When we do like this, the kinetic energy of water is converted into potential energy. At the bottom of the reservoir, it is a floodgate. It is also known as control gate. When this gate is opened, the water stored at a height flows through a long tube made of concrete, and this tube is known as penstock. At the end of a penstock, there is a turbine. It is a machine that has a set of blades. When the flowing water falls on the turbine, it starts rotating. Due to the rotation of the turbine, the generator in the powerhouse starts working. The generator that is connected to the turbine converts the mechanical energy, that is, potential energy plus kinetic energy of the water into electrical energy. This electrical energy produced or electricity produced at high voltage are distributed through the power lines to substations. The remaining flowing water are allowed to merge with the river. This is how hydroelectric power stations generate electricity. Today, we have discussed about the five main sources of energy and how to produce electricity from these sources of energy in the power stations. We have also learned about the working of two power stations, hydroelectric power station and thermal power station. That's all for today. Thank you.